we want to have our audience be like jumping out of their chair, wanting to comment, wanting to share, wanting to respond and build a relationship with this person. And so when you attract them and engage them, and then also have a call to action to like, here's what to do next, that is the best way to be able to serve your audience, by giving that information, entertaining them at the same time, giving them value, and then showing them, here's how we can continue the relationship. It's like if you're on a date and you like the person and you want to see them again, you don't play hard to get and hope that they come back to you for a second date. If you want that to happen, your chances are going to be higher if you just ask them like, hey, I'd love to see you again. Can I take you out again sometime? In video, it'd be like, hey, if you enjoyed this, I have another free thing for you. Click here, put in your email. I'm going to give this to you for free, and then you'll also be on my email list.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is hosted by me, Nilesh, Jain, and this is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coaches, and consultant. And in this amazing series today, we have one of the super talented, super smart girl with us. She's Marley Jax. So she is the founder of YouTube Lead Machine. She helps entrepreneurs turn their audience to cash flow using YouTube Lead Machine. She helped the top video branding leader. She is an amazing FHL speaker. She worked with so many legendary people, and I can see like so many amazing legendary people. She is a 2 Club award winner, and she hosts a live event called Content Live Machine, where she have Christy Cord, Red, Alex Shaffan, Diamond, John, Stephen Larson, and one of the best person, Russell Brunson. So without further ado, let's have Marley on the stage. Hi Marley, how are you?
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm really glad to have you on the stage and really excited for today's session. So thank you so much for once again for hopping on live and joining us.
My pleasure.
Yep. So before we proceed further, are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yep.
My voice? Yeah. Thank you so much. So yeah. Could you share a little bit about yourself, on your backstory, on how you got started? So the people who don't know who Marley Jax is, so actually they get a brief idea about you.
Yeah, I actually didn't start with like business or thinking anything about video or content. I was actually a dental hygienist. And I knew that I didn't want to do that forever, but it was just something that it was good. It paid the bills. It also gave me the freedom to figure out what I really wanted to be when I grew up. And so I was kind of bored between cleaning teeth all day. And so I was starting to do the social media for the dental office, just like making posts about people that were working there or the office goldfish or some like silly things like that. And it started to, get some engagement and some response, and people would come into the office saying like, oh, I saw these things, and so I decided I wanted to come see you guys. So then our office IT guy was like, hey, would you be interested in doing social media for some of my other clients? And from there he started referring me to all of his clients, and all of a sudden I had a business and like didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I was like, I'll just learn as I go. And so that evolved into me making videos to be answering questions for my clients when they would ask me frequently asked questions. And I put them on YouTube, and it turned out that they weren't the only ones with those questions. Other people all over the world were finding those videos. And then I was like, I wonder if I can do that again. I wonder if I can do that on purpose and make more videos that are going to reach more people. And then I wonder if I can do that for my clients to help them reach a bigger audience. And it just scaled from there. And then my social media little side business turned into me leaving dental hygiene full time to go into this business, and then scaling that into what we have now, which is a YouTube agency.
Wow, that is literally an insane. If we can see this, social media is just you are doing for passion, and it converts into profit, right?
Yeah.
Super, super. So guys, if you are with us on live, drop hashtag live, or with us on replay, drop hashtag replay, and make sure you take pen and paper, because Marley is going to give you lots of golden nuggets. So make sure you're ready with the pen and paper. So Marley, you just now mentioned you are running an YouTube lead agency, and you are helping so many clients of yours. So, and you are mainly focused on content to sales. So how do people create monetization for themselves using the content, and what type of content do they publish? Is there any stage framework?
Yeah, so most of the time when our clients come to us, like they already have something that they want to sell. So if someone's like first starting to know, like, what are you selling first, so that we can reverse engineer that outcome. And it's actually a really cool strategy to use for anything you're creating. Like, what is the outcome, and let's work backwards from that. Even if you're creating an individual piece of content, how do you want people to feel watching this, reading this, observing this? Or you're creating a course, what kind of testimonials do you want to get from that course? So we like to reverse engineer to think, what do we have to start with to create that result? So with content, we know that we ideally want it to lead towards these people watching it wanting to become a customer. And so the way that we do that is we have to attract them with like a strong hook in the title in the beginning of the video. The beginning of the video is really important. It's going to keep people watching, because if the beginning of the video is boring, or why would you keep watching? Why would you watch all the way? It's like when you put on a movie. If you think the movie's boring, you're not gonna. People always are like, oh, that was a wasted an hour of my life. Like, you're not gonna keep watching unless that beginning is gonna attract them and hook them in. And then we also want to engage them, because it's one thing to just like watch content and be getting information, but when you feel like there's a relationship forming, or that you can actually have a dialogue with the person, even though it's a still video and it is one way, we want to have our audience be like jumping out of their chair, wanting to comment, wanting to share, wanting to respond, and build a relationship with this person. And so when you attract them and engage them, and then also have a call to action to like, here's what to do next, that is the best way to be able to serve your audience, by giving that information, entertaining them at the same time, giving them value, and then showing them, here's how we can continue the relationship. It's like if you're on a date and you like the person and you want to see them again, you don't play hard to get and hope that they come back to you for a second date. If you want that to happen, your chances are going to be higher if you just ask them like, hey, I'd love to see you again. Can I take you out again sometime? In video, it'd be like, hey, if you enjoyed this, I have another free thing for you. Click here, put in your email. I'm going to give this to you for free. And then you'll also be on my email list, which is then how you then continue to nurture the relationship, so they can become a paying customer, which then can provide even more value to them.
This is insane advice right now, because what you mentioned, you have to ask, and if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So definitely call to action is must if you really wanted to create monetization and wanted to make revenue out of the content. So right now, if we see, YouTube is mostly focused towards short form content. So according to your experience, what do you feel in the next 5 year 10 years, YouTube is only focused towards this short form content, or they also going to long form content, and how long it was?
I think it was more long form and is now shifting to more short form. Like, you definitely see them wanting to incentivize creators to use YouTube Shorts now. And with TikTok and Reels, like how people are just putting up these 15-second or 30-second little videos that are just growing people's reach so much. I think it's going to be a big opportunity for people to be utilizing both. And with people being able to use like stories on Instagram, and that's now becoming a feature on YouTube, I think video is only going to get bigger from here. And so years ago, when I was telling people like, hey, you need to get on YouTube, and they were thinking it's too late, it's not too late. It's evolving, and it's ever evolving. And because YouTube is a search engine owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world, it's not too late. And it's really important to get on it, especially while things are still really picking up. And I expect there's going to be even more evolution to it.
Wow. Super. Yeah, definitely. YouTube is a search engine, so it show your content on Google search itself. If you have a good headline or SEO optimized content, definitely it is a insane values right now. So you are working with the top-notch entrepreneurs and serve them very well. How you land high-end clients into your business? Please.
That's a fun question. I think it's mostly just, being really genuine and providing a quality service and caring about the people that you work for, whether they're high ticket or low ticket. I think the process and the values are still the same, that you take pride in your work and are dedicated to committing just a world-class service. when it comes to getting the attention of people who might be more in demand than others. I think it's just really important to stay genuine, stay yourself, and show them how you can provide them value by maybe putting yourself out there before even having the opportunity. One of my friends and clients that I admired so much before he ever became a friend or client was Alex Sharfin. And I love his work. I would like binge listen to his podcast. And I remember hearing him when I was new as an entrepreneur and thinking, oh, I wish I could just know him. I wish we could be friends. I would love to have him in my life. And one of the best things that I did to get to know him and other entrepreneurs that I've looked at and wanted to have a relationship with is I just bought their stuff and became their best testimonial. Like with Alex, I joined his program and I just genuinely love his content. So I just consumed everything and I implemented. And I think for anyone who has courses or coaching programs or anything, like you really pay attention to the people who are engaging and taking action and also providing value to your community as a result. And so just by being engaged in his community, that's how we became friends, and then took notice that he became a client of mine. And it's Alex and I actually, funny enough, have the same birthday. So we had a joint birthday party one year, and I'm sure that Marley like 5 years ago would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that could happen. So I think it's really just showing up and providing value and, being genuinely yourself and contributing.
Definitely so true. Being genuine and show up. Actually, showing up is one of the most important factor in everything, in any aspect. Whether you want to get client, whether you want to attract someone, which might be your dream 100 or any top-notch entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Best piece of advice. Thank you so much for this thing. So you are the stage of you are a speaker of this funnel hacking live, and I truly know that your message makes so much impact in so many people's life at the particular FHL room. So would you like to share one impactful message with us right now? Any one impactful message that you share with FHL people on
Sure.
the
Well, so I spoke at Funnel Hacking Live in January of 2020, like right before the world shut down with the pandemic. So it was a really crazy time. But on top of that, it was a particularly transformational time for me because I was going through a divorce at that time, and it was really emotional. I had just announced like 3 weeks before that my marriage ended and that my last name was changing and everything in my life was changing. And I think, as with any big life transition, I was kind of in a whirlwind and trying to find, stability in my life. And so I got on stage and I had 28 minutes to share my message. And it's crazy because that clock is counting down and you feel the intensity and you feel all the energy from the audience. And there were two ways that I could have seen this experience. There was a lot of attention on me, of course, being a speaker at this event. There was a lot of exposure, which was an incredible opportunity. But because I had just announced that my marriage ended a couple weeks before, there was part of me that felt insecure, like, are all eyes on me, wondering if I'm going to crumble because I'm in a very, sensitive time in my life right now. And I consciously just decided that I didn't want to be the divorce girl. I didn't want it to be a story. I didn't want to be a pity party. Of course, people are so well-meaning that they'll come to you and be like, I'm so sorry. How are you? And instead, I wanted to shift it to be a story of perseverance of, yes, I'm going through something really difficult right now. And there are so many reasons why I could back down and kind of hide. But one of the things I shared from stage is that I did have that insecurity at that time and considered maybe I should stop creating content right now, because why would anyone listen to me when I'm broken? But what I shared from that stage is that helping people doesn't stop just because your life isn't perfect. No one's is. And that's been a reminder for me as I continue to go through life's challenges, because that's also the life that we've signed up for as entrepreneurs. We've signed up for consistent, constant transitions. And sometimes that means failures, but you can't fail if you don't quit. So it's just a story of like getting back up again and still showing up even when times are hard.
Yes, definitely. That is how you bounce back is matter the most. Like you rather than just thinking what others are going to think, you just work on yourself and you showing up again. You just did a bounce back that yes, I'm going to again,
Mhm.
uh, going to make an impact again. So one person, we have one question from audience is, who is your biggest inspiration?
Oh, that's a great question. I have so many. Uh, Alex Harpin, as I mentioned, he's an amazing friend and he's just changed my life in so many ways. Steve Larson, who is my boyfriend and business partner as well. It's amazing to be in a relationship with someone where you can really, we always call it like mental volleying, where we can, you know, really engage and communicate in these high level ways where sometimes they're really challenging conversations because of what we're going through in life that not everyone else will understand. You know, building a business with someone you love, you have really incredible opportunities for growth together, which can also bring a lot of challenges. Like Steve and I actually, we joined our businesses together at the beginning of this year in January, and what we didn't expect was that a week before, you know, we launched the brand new business, I was diagnosed with cancer. And you're not going to stop the train. And so the first quarter of this year, in this like brand new build phase of a business while also dealing with these health struggles, was honestly, it was the worst
Yes.
4 to 6 months of my life. But 6 months later, because of I was very dedicated to the treatment and to the path that I chose. 6 months later, there's no evidence of the cancer. So I feel like we got to do that together, and having someone like him in my life also enables me to be the person that I am and make the decisions that I do and live the life we do together.
First of all, congratulations to beat that one. I can say I'm not you, but congratulations to you. I follow you on Instagram and I consistently show your stories that every single day you are taking medicines and so many things that you tried.
Yeah,
So
still.
yes, yes. So this one disease, I know it's very hard time, but how you are motivated every single day yourself in that tough time?
Whenever something of a struggle is happening, I think it's a choice in perspective. Which perspective am I going to take? If something is hard, am I going to think, why me? And how is this happening? And someone come save me. Or am I going to think, why is this happening? And what does it have to show me? What can this teach me? How can I grow through this? And sure, who can I lean on for support and help? I think that's a good question, but not expecting or hoping for anyone to come save you. You are the hero in your own story, and the villains that might show up, perhaps they're not villains, perhaps they're just teachers. And so that's what I think of when I'm going through a struggle, whether it's my health, whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's financial. I've never failed before because I haven't quit. And so obviously this is just another lesson. And if you look back at the evidence of everything you've overcome in the past, if you were given the same challenge that you were given 5 years ago that you've already overcome, you'd probably look at it with a different perspective to be like, oh, I've already overcome this one, I can do it again. So because I'm going through the one, whatever struggle it might be right now, I'll be able to be better equipped if it were to come up again in the future. So I think it's important that when those things come up, it's just choosing the perspective that you want to go into it with and deciding that you're not going to quit no matter what.
Right. You don't have to be quit. Okay, actually, here's one comment by RJ. So
RJ.
definitely you are working. So awesome. And we don't have to be quit. And if we not quit, we going to win. And I love this quote by Tony Robbins that victory is near. I listened this in ClickFunnels membership from Funnel Hacking Live 2016. I remember there Tony Robbins mentioned is victory is near. So it fixed. I put this on my wall every single day. I watch this quote. So thank you so much for sharing this thing. So what is your daily routine look like?
It changes all the time. I feel like I have phases of routines. There was about a month ago, I was waking up every morning at 5:30 and I was writing from 5:30 to about 8:30. And then I would work out a little bit, then get ready for the day, and I have my calls, and I would just, be at my computer working from like 9 to 5. Then in the evening, like I always walk every day. I'm doing something outside and walking. And then I was traveling a little bit, so that kind of was like a break in my routine. And then when I came back from traveling, then my routine changed a little bit. That Steve and I actually started doing 75 hard. It's where you have to do 2 workouts in a day and read 10 pages of a book and drink a gallon of water every day. It's a really good mental toughness challenge. And ever since then, I've needed a little bit more sleep. So I'm not waking up at 5:30 in the morning for this phase of my routine, but I'm working out twice a day. And so just I like to change up my routine. I think that routines are great, but also having variety in routine can also be really helpful. So if I'm head down writing my book, that's going to be the focus of my routine. If I'm working on getting healthy or challenging myself with this 75 hard challenge, I'm going to focus on sleep and exercise. But either way, like regardless of whatever routine I'm in at the moment, the non-negotiables for me is I need uninterrupted creative time where either I'm writing or filming something. I need time to walk outside, just being in my neighborhood, being in the fresh air, just being in nature. That's really important to me. And typically just at least some time to just sit, think, and be quiet, whether that's meditating. That's like the non-negotiables in any routine.
Super. Yeah, I learned this thing that don't have the same routine. Change your routine. That's a great thing I learned from you right now. So one more question from audience itself is
Top 3 advice getting started with entrepreneurship and business. I'm going to repeat what I said before about like find the people that you want to be surrounded with and just contribute to their communities to engage with them, show up, build relationships with them. That's how I feel like I have relationships with, people like Alex Sharfin and Russell Brunson, like the people that I looked up to and now are in my circle because I just continue to show up and build a relationship with them. So yeah, find a mentor. That's huge because Steve always says this thing that I love. People are faster than books. Like, sure, we can read every book on the shelf, but also if you can learn from the people who have walked the path that you are walking. They say that you can't cut corners or there's no shortcuts, but there kind of is when you can just follow in the footsteps of people who've done it before and learn from their mistakes and learn what helped them grow the fastest. And lastly, I think just continuing to always be creative, even if you don't know exactly what that looks like. It might just be writing every day, even if it's just like freehand journaling, like just dumping out whatever's in your brain or turning on your camera or your microphone and speaking, recording a podcast or a YouTube video. I'm a very verbal processor. So sometimes I will I'll come up with my best stuff while I'm in the middle of creating. Like that's why also podcast interviews or things like this are really fun because the right question can prompt a really cool idea that can then lead into, I don't know, a course or a YouTube video or a piece of content that just impacted people. So yeah, that's my advice.
Super pieces of advice, and definitely having a mentor, having the right people around us is the key towards the success and towards whatever the goal we have. Thank you so much for this. And recently you came from a visionary trip. Recently. So,
Yeah.
how was your experience, and what is the secret of a real Academy Award? The award that you won.
So I went on we call it a visionary trip. And so Steve and I, we like to do this like every few months or so where we just, whether it's a weekend or even just like a date night, do something where we go somewhere that just heightens your vision. It gives you space to think and create and dream. Because I think if you can like see it in your mind first, that's what's going to be able to create it physically. And so it's always been a dream of mine to make movies. And so we decided for this visionary trip, we were going to go to Hollywood. We went to LA. We went to the Warner Brothers studio. We got to see lots of film sets. And I got to hold an Academy Award. And it was really, I was so intentional about this when they handed it to me. There's this woman that, of course, she's like wearing gloves, and she's very gentle with it because it's a real Academy Award. And I just imagined when she was handing it to me, imagining like receiving it, being on a stage, and that this was my Academy Award. So it's just this really cool moment of just feeling like, you know what, it is possible. If I want to make movies in Hollywood, why not? Go after it. And so it was a cool moment to experience and imagine it in the mind so that I can create it in real life.
Yeah, definitely soon it will be yours.
Thank you.
So, here we have some more questions from audience. How to curate content YouTube videos?
There's so many different strategies. Like, I mean, you can easily be making content based on questions that you're receiving. That's probably like the easiest way, is if someone asks you a question and you're getting that question enough, make a YouTube video about it. Like, so one of my highest performing YouTube videos, I think it almost has 1 million views on it, is how to use Canva. Because my clients were asking me, how do I put text on my images? And how do I do this? So I just made a video tutorial of here's how I use Canva. Here's how you can do it. And obviously like 1 million other people are asking that same question. I also really love just documenting content. Like, I have my camera just sitting right here next to me by my computer all day. And if something happens, I'll just turn on my camera and I'll talk to it. Or even I could be in a meeting and have the camera rolling and being able to just like get B-roll or behind the scenes footage of what's happening. And I think that that's a really fun way to watch and engage and observe content too, because it's one thing to be standing in front of a camera and, performing or teaching or presenting, but it's also really, I feel like it really connects us when we feel like we're right there with them, that you're sitting right next to me and you're observing this with me, you're just in the experience with me. So I think it also depends on how you want to come across on camera or the relationship you want to have with your audience. I've spent a lot of time in presenting content, and I feel like the phase of content that I'm coming into now is where I just want to be like, hey, come along for the journey with me.
Super. Okay, one more question from RJ. How you handle anxiety being an entrepreneur?
I handle anxiety mostly by accepting it, just that it's normal to have anxiety as an entrepreneur. If you expect that you're not supposed to feel anxiety, that's probably the hardest thing to cope with, is if you think that everything is supposed to be perfect. I remember early on in my business thinking like, okay, once I get this client, or once I make this amount of money, or once I have this team member, or once I get XYZ, it's like, then I'll be free. Then I'll be free. But if everything is stagnant, like, you're not growing. So I love the phrase like new level, new devil. As you're growing, there's going to be more challenges, and your challenges will evolve as you do. So when I have anxiety, I first of all I want to pinpoint the reason so that I can understand what it is. So if I have anxiety and it's because I have a lot on my plate, I'm like, okay, well, how do I deal with that? Like that, or if I have anxiety because someone said something mean to me on social media, okay, how do I deal with that? And then it's, again, choosing the perspective I want to go into this experience with. Am I going to be a victim, or am I going to be a creator? Am I going to learn something from this? And, the anxieties that I had 5 years ago are different than the anxieties I have today, because I was able to experience them and just really accept them. So biggest advice is just accepting the anxiety, but also understanding it and dealing with why it's there instead of trying to push it away.
Dealing with the things and push it away. Like how I can handle it. Definitely, it's
Yeah.
great. And so, according to your experience, what is the biggest mistake people do when it comes to content creation?
Biggest mistake. I think it's just like not being yourself. But that there's more to that you learn your voice by speaking. And so, of course, at the beginning, you're creating content, sure, for your audience, but you're really creating content more for yourself, for you to discover it. And in that, you might be taking on pieces of other people. Like, I've seen lots of people that act like Gary Vaynerchuk on video because that's the content that they're consuming. but then they miss the parts of their genuine selves that is what attracts us to that person. So I think it's really important that, of course, we're going to learn from other people's content. We're going to consume other people's content so that we see what we like, what we don't like. But in creating your own voice, you really just stay true to yourself. And it's, if you go back to the beginning of my YouTube channel, the way that I presented then compared to now is so different because I was learning my voice. But just whatever it is that genuinely feels right to you. There was a long time where kind of like I said, like I was always presenting content and I got bored of it. And I felt like I was doing it because that's what you're supposed to do. But then I would watch my own videos and be like, I don't like watching this because I'm just teaching instead of engaging. And so that's where I had to make a conscious decision of like, I need to do what I enjoy presenting, and that's going to attract an audience that enjoys watching it. And lately, a lot of my YouTube content is me documenting and just telling stories to the camera very, very naturally. Like I turn on my camera right here and you can just see my living room behind me. There's nothing really special about it. And I'm just talking. And even though that content is like less produced and unscripted, I'm getting a much better response from it by just genuinely sharing what's on my mind and being myself.
Wow. Being yourself and documenting your journey is something that is literally get attention of the people because they see your genuineness that yes, they are not talking any scripted thing. They're just sharing from their heart, from their soul, and the things they know, not any kind of fake and fluff. Thank you. So that's literally an insane advice. And one more piece of question from audience today.
How
How
to
to handle
handle
failure?
failure? Great question. I think I would have a similar answer to how to handle anxiety. Um, Handling failure is just, it's part of the road. What is it? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Failure means that you're trying. Rejection slips mean that you're trying. And understanding that failure is just it's a stepping stone to success. And again, if you don't quit, you don't fail. So just because you haven't made it to success, it's not the end. And even when you do make it to success, that's not the finish line. You're going to keep going, and then there's the next level, and you're probably going to fail so many times to that next level, but it's always failing forward.
Fail fast, fail for
Mm.
move forward, something like that,
I love that.
right? Yes, and thank you for sharing tons of golden nugget. So, guys, if you still have any question, drop in the chat box. And Marley, you have this content for leads.com. Would you like to share a little bit about it?
Yeah, so excited about this. This is Steve and I are doing a 5-day challenge. It starts on Monday, and we're going to do this, I think, every few months or so. But what we're doing is we're teaching people how to generate leads from your content so that you don't have to rely on Facebook ads or hustling for your content. And it's strategies that we never taught before. So it's really exciting. And it's also something that like you can bring your team to be able to have their help with implementing this. So it starts on Monday, and it's, we're so excited for this. It's going to be one of our favorite challenges we've ever done.
Awesome, awesome. So I'll drop all the link in the description. And one more question from the people. So yeah, how to get organic traffic to the YouTube channel?
So to the YouTube channel, there's different things you can do, but like definitely cross promoting on your other social media platforms. Like if I drop a YouTube video, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on like, hey, go watch this new video, go watch this video here. I always like to take a little like snippet of the video, the same way that you'd see like a TV commercial or a movie commercial that says, hey, go watch the movie in theaters now. We want to do something like that for our YouTube videos where we show them just a little clip that gets them hooked. And then it, ends and goes, go watch the full video over here. So that's a really great way to get people to find it and then get them to keep following you on the other platforms.
Super. Can we take one more question,
Yeah.
or you are rushing from time?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So one more question: how to make YouTube video on any random topic? How to research content?
On any random topic. So I guess it depends what we mean by random. We definitely want to make sure that the content is leading towards something that you sell, a way that you provide value to people, something that is within your niche. So of course we want to make content that people are interested in. So one of the ways that I would find how I want to position my videos is even if you just go straight to the YouTube search bar, you know, when you start typing in and it will try to finish your sentence, it will kind of guess what you're typing in. That auto population is created because of what people are typing in. So if you start typing in how to train your dog, it'll give you all these suggestions for how to train your dog to sit, how to train your dog to stay, how to train your dog to stop barking at the mailman. All of those ideas, those suggestions are things that people are searching for in the search bar that you could make videos on. So that's one of the ways of researching content, and also finding that if you have a topic idea in mind that you might think is random, we still want to find how do we title this video based on how people are searching for it.
Super pieces of advice and golden nuggets out there by Marley Jax. But before we wrapping up the show, any three pieces of advice to the new entrepreneurs?
Oh, I thought I answered that one. I was saying get a mentor.
Oh yeah.
Engage with your audience, and then what was the other one that I said? I don't remember, but it was a good one. Go back and watch it.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Marley, once again for joining us and sharing tons of golden nugget with us on this particular podcast. Really grateful to have you on my show. And thank you so much once again. Have a great day. I'll join you in a minute.
Thank you.
So there you go, guys. There you go. And she's Marley Jax, and she shared tons of golden nugget with you. And definitely show your love to her in the chat box in the comment section. And I hope you get value too much. So share what is your biggest takeaway from this chat comment. And on 26th of August, Friday, I am coming up with a webinar which is top 3 secret on how you generate 100 leads, quality leads in a 5 days. I am doing a webinar, 90-minute webinar. So you just have to drop #lead and I'll join you in a minute. I'll send you the link. Okay. So bye bye. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for sharing tons of connecting with us. Thank you so much. Bye bye.